Now you're going to take a nice new piece of clay, which I don't have rolled out, so I'll flip that one over. You're going to take your t-shirt transfer, again I reverse the image, and you're going to put it down on the clay. Notice I left a little tab, and that's because you're going to have to pull this up pretty quickly when the clay is hot. So you want to leave a little extra edge that you just fold over as a tab. And you would normally do this on a larger piece of clay, but so that you have a little room to spare. But same thing, you're going to put it down, you're going to really, really, really burnish it. If you're ever going to have a part where the ink doesn't transfer, it's going to be right along this fold. So actually, you might even want to fold it out a little bit more so you have a little white edge there. And if anything doesn't transfer, it'll be that plain white edge. You'll be okay. Anyway, same thing. At this point, you're going to bake this. You're going to put it in the oven at normal temperatures for about 6 minutes. At 6 minutes, you need to take it out and peel the corner away. And if you see that the ink has transferred, take the whole thing off and, excuse me, and take the paper off, and then return the other piece to the oven and finish baking it for the rest of your 20 minutes, 30 minutes, however long you have to do it. So, one, you get the whole transfer and then bake it. This one you bake partially and pull it off and then finish baking. All right, so after you've done that, what are you going to do? Well, let me show you a couple mistakes. In the past, I've actually had good luck adding a tiny little layer of liquid Sculpey to the clay before I put the transfer on. It did not work at all this time. This is very often what you'll do, what you'll see. You'll think you touched every single spot on your transfer, and then you peel it off and you're missing some ink. So that is why I suggest you make multiple copies, because you want to be able to do this again. So this particular time, my experiment using clay and then a thin layer of liquid Sculpey and then the t-shirt transfer did not work. It has worked in the past, but like I said, this is kind of a quirky little thing. All of the ones I tried using the paper method did work. That's the normal Kali color. It's normally not blue. These two are t-shirt transfer, and these are the first method, where you just put the toner-based paper down and rub it with the water. You can see it's a slightly darker, truer colors when you do the t-shirt transfer. But this method is great because you absolutely don't need anything except a toner copy. You don't need special paper. You don't need anything else except water. So those are two good ones. Also, you can use black and white and do some cool little silhouette type things. Here's our little dachshund with dogs get the star and everything with a colored background, so you can do cool things like that. So, if you want to make it into a little pendant, I just extruded a little ring of clay, a little tube of clay. Let me show you how to do that. Use my handy extruder. I have a die in there for one single strand. You want to roll your clay so it fits down the tube. Not that much. Screw the cap on. And extrude a little string of clay. Now, in this particular case, I noticed that when I put water on it, it brought the color out a little more. So I did wipe just the tiniest little thin film of liquid, Pt2 liquid clay over this to kind of seal it and bring it out a little bit. So you can do that at that point if you want. To get this little loop, I just ran it around here. And you want to be careful when you seal the edges. You don't want to roll that so it's a thinner spot. You really want your clay to maintain the diameter all the way across. So the way to do that is I overlap it a little, cut it, and I overlap it a little at this point so that I can roll it to get that seam out of there. And at the same time, I'm not, because I overlapped it a little, it was a little thicker, so now when I'm rolling it to get that seam, it's actually the right diameter. And then I just put it around. Obviously, if you're doing this at home, you'd spend a little more time. And if you put the liquid Sculpey on there, it will also help seal this to it. That's just a real quick, easy way to do that. I just made this like a little tiny tube to put my string through. Do that and put a little hole in it. It's a very soft clay, so make sure you get a good hole in there. And again, you can just put that up against it. You can put a little drop of liquid clay there to keep it in place. And bake it like that. So, again, you'll find lots of other methods out there. You'll have somewhere it's just like putting liquid Sculpey down on the paper, and on the image, and then baking it and peeling off the back, and you'll get something like that. I did this without, just kind of as an experiment. It wasn't part of what I was trying to teach you today, but I'll just show it to you to see if you see instructions for transfers using liquid Sculpey. You'll come off almost with a sticker like this that you can then apply to different surfaces. So you can see when you put it on white, it shows up a little better. So you will see plenty of other methods for doing image transfers out there. These just happen to be the ones that work best for me.